Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today we're talking about how you can build custom GPTs with ChatGPT. And I actually was able to do this. I have a lot of different products that I've already kind of created, like Derivative Trader Pro, just as an example. And we can go over here to edit GPT. We can edit this if we want to. And so this is trying to be focused on futures. And Forex. And so if we wanted to provide a market update for the euro and US dollar, we can actually ask it. Then we can fact check this and actually see if this was legitimate, what the information that it's providing. So the euro US dollar pair extended its fall down to 1.0722. So we're going to go ahead and check this out. And we'll see the last price of 1.0764, the bid and the ask 1.0766. And if we kind of look at this, it's around the same price, 1.07, 1.0722. The last two decimal places is really where the movement's going to happen. Now, if we look at TradingView, let's say if this loads here, we'll take a look at, just as an example, 1.0758. So it's going to say the support level 1.0447, kind of in that range. And so we can kind of look at different price levels. And that's generally accurate. I mean, it still gets this decimal right. And then, of course, it's been downtrending. So with that being said, I mean, we could also try for, let's say, what is the Swiss franc versus US dollar pair. And we'll ask it to give us a quote and see if it can actually provide the current quote of the Swiss franc and dollar pair. Let's see here. If we can actually go back to Google and type in CHF/US dollar. Now it says 1.14. Pretty accurate. And so this actually is pretty cool how this can work. And you can create this for pretty much anything. So if you want to create your own GPT, all you got to do is actually go to create a GPT. And you can just start from scratch right within your OpenAI account. Now you have to be signed up for the pro version to access all the features. I'm signed up. I think ChatGPT 4 is definitely worth having if you're using it for business. I think it can be part of everyone's workflow. To be honest, it's quite shocking how easy it is to make these apps. And so I think there's going to be a lot of competition. It could potentially get to the point, in my personal opinion, if the demand is high enough and they're able to generate enough demand for these GPTs, this could be something like the NFT market, in my opinion, because we had a lot of speculative money floating around back then, of course, but especially if interest rates start to drop here and we start to get more free money type situations down the road, GPTs could definitely take off. And be one of those things where right now it's kind of quiet. They just came out with it. But this is actually how you go through the process of building your very own GPT. So we could ask it to build pretty much anything. So what we're going to do in this case is actually ask, let's say, to build a compound interest calculator from scratch. Or better yet, we'll say, build me a financial ratio calculator that can quick ratio, current ratio, and all kinds of financial ratios, compound interest, etc. And so this is basically going to be financial assets such as stocks, bonds, ETFs, mutual funds, etc. Make it, I don't know, we'll just see what this comes up with here. And so what happens is once you start building these GPTs, it just updates the entire thing. And so you can tell it pretty much to do anything you want. And so there are some limitations. I mean, a lot of times, like, you'll have to input your own APIs if you actually want to get really specific. And that's really what could distinguish your product from somebody else's, in my opinion. Keep that in mind. if you're creating these GPTs down the road, I think it does help to have Python proficiency, and also just kind of looking at your coding as a journey. I'm just getting started with mine. I just started working in AI a few months ago, and I really enjoy it. But I have to say, like, my job is more entry level right now into AI, and I know a lot of people who are, software engineers. I watch a lot of YouTubers, and Power Couple is one that I love. And they do a great job explaining how, the tech industry works and all this stuff you need to learn. But with that being said, I mean, this is really a step above coding, obviously. I mean, you don't have to program this. You can just put this into the chat. So the question is, how about naming this GPT Finance Wizard? So we'll say, I want the name to be related to calculating financial ratios. And we'll try to get it to come up with something else. Another idea. Ratio analyst. It's going to generate a profile picture. So you can always change this, but I guess we'll go with ratio analyst right now. Honestly, I don't like that name at all, but we'll see what it comes up with. So it comes up with a calculator. You can always tell it, change the name and the profile picture to reflect financial ratios being calculated in math. Not a calculator, and then the name should include the word finance. So we'll see what happens here again. And this is really the process with this entire thing. You're just basically configuring this as best as you can. There's also a description. We'll go over to this other tab right here where it says configure in just one moment. But really, it's pretty simple. And all you're doing is typing this in, finance ratio master. So that's not bad. I'll take that. Now, this picture I'm not so sure about, but we can always update that in the future. So that's fine for right now. And one thing I always do is I always right away train the model to only respond to the topic at hand. So in this example, this is just for financial ratios like quick ratio, current ratio, compound interest, PE ratio, price to earnings, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to say it must stay on topic to calculating financial ratios. Mathematical equations. No off-topic discussions. We'll put an example. So I like clouds, give me recipes, etc. So we're just prompting this to really train the model. So if we're going to ask about, let's say, one of these things on here, such as, write me a recipe or teach me how to play a guitar or a sport, what we're going to do, excuse me, is we're going to put this in here and see if it responds with something. And what we don't want it to respond with anything unrelated, basically. So it's set to focus solely on calculating financial ratios and mathematical equations related to finance. It's ready to assist with financial data analysis. It'll not engage in off-topic discussions and will maintain a strict focus on finance-related topics. Would you like to test it in the playground? Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and say, give me some good vacation destinations. I'm going to see if it actually gives us responses that are off topic, because I want this to be niche. I want this to be, see right there, and that's what we want to see. I'm here to assist with finance-related inquiries, particularly those involving financial ratios, stock evaluations, and similar topics. So for vacation destination recommendations, I recommend consulting a travel expert. And so that's exactly what we want to see. And then we can say, calculate the quick ratio, the current quick ratio for Microsoft. And it's actually going to do research, and we're going to see if this actually can calculate the quick ratio. In fact, we'll go over to finviz.com. And give me one moment. Type in Microsoft and see if we can find the, I think we asked the quick ratio, right? So yeah, Microsoft FinViz, and it's going to be on here somewhere. It says 1.64 according to finviz.com, as you can see. And we'll see how good this thing is at calculating these ratios. You can think about the applications of this while we're waiting on this to load. I mean, if this were to actually work and run these mathematical calculations, you would not need financial analysts, or you might need just a few of them to run these prompts all day long and collect data that would be valuable. But then what's the point? You have all this data. What do you do with it? That's the ultimate question, because it might have taken an ordinary person a lot of time to do, research in this detail. So let's, based on a quick search, here's what I found. To calculate the quick ratio for Microsoft, we need to know the company's current assets. Okay, so yeah, minus current liabilities. Inventories and its current liabilities. Okay, so let's see here. So so this is going to be one of those things where we need to program it, and we're going to see if we can actually do this right now. Let's see if we can put this in GPT and the actual financial statements from companies. So we will go ahead and calculate this and see if this actually works. And if it does, that'd be quite amazing. It says updating GPT, and we're going to test this one more time before we hop off here today to see if we can actually get this programmed to run this correctly. So it's now equipped to calculate financial ratios using real-time data sources. So we're going to ask a different company now. We'll try Google, or we'll try one of my favorite stocks I've been really watching and been buying a few shares here and there lately. Newmont Mining. I love this company, guys. And I think it's potentially a good buy at $39 a share today from where it used to trade in the past. But we'll ask it about Newmont Mining. Calculate the current dividend yield of Newmont Mining. So it says it's going to use real-time data, including financial data and websites, actual company financial statements. It'll guide users in sourcing necessary financial details. Annual dividend of $1.60 per share. From my understanding, that is accurate. Let's take a look at the actual dividend. And according to finviz.com, that is accurate. I do know that they pay a 40-cent dividend per quarter. So it correctly calculates. Now, the approximate dividend yield, it says 4.09. I'm going to go to NASDAQ.com next. And what I'm going to do is type in we're going to see if we can find the most recent dividend yield here on NASDAQ.com and see what it says. Check a different source. So this one says 4.09. We do have a dividend of 3.88% according to a share price of $41.20. So there's the discrepancy. It has the dividend amount right, but it does not have the correct dividend yield. And so what we can actually do is instruct it, make sure you're actually using sources such as NASDAQ.com and finviz.com to check the current dividend yield based upon the live price or any securities and financial assets or any other sources you need. And we're going to see if it actually, so it says something went wrong. Now in this case, we're asking it to do some pretty complicated stuff. So we'll see if we can actually get this to generate on a second attempt. and something seems to have gone wrong. It's probably having some trouble with this request, I would assume. It says updating GPT. It's now set to use real-time data from financial websites for accurate calculations. Okay, so we're going to ask one more time for a different stock. I know I said we'd cut it off, but you get the idea. So in a different video, we can maybe go into this a little bit deeper and see how far we could get. But you get the general idea. I'm actually not going to go ahead and do another example. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, though. Hope this gave you some insight into how to actually build your own GPTs. What it says here is, in terms of going public, you can potentially launch these in the GPT store coming soon. So with that being said, there are different ideas that people can create from scratch. I do believe that if you enter the market now and you have a pro subscription to GPT-4, you are in a better position than a lot of people who are not using the pro version, first of all, and also who are taking this seriously and are actually using these tools to potentially benefit the lives of others. Because think about this. When you're creating these GPTs, not only do you have first mover advantage because you're first to the market before a ton of people find out about it, before the masses, if that is what happens, and there's like an NFT type craze or something. But if that were to happen, or even something a fraction of that, you would be potentially the first ones to enter the market. And that is an advantage, I believe, especially if you can create high quality products that actually benefit the lives of individuals. If they have a GPT store coming, there is the possibility that you may get revenue sharing, maybe per download. I don't know how it would work if it would be a subscription model based upon how much the subscription model costs, and you get like an affiliate commission for your downloads. Or it's very possible that we could see something like that. But with that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope this gave you an idea of how you can make these GPTs from scratch. It's very simple. We're going to go ahead and launch this as public. We're going to save this and confirm. And voila, this thing is live. And you can do this over and over again. You'll see I created, Derivative Trader Pro, for virtual financial analyst. I even have a crypto one, Golf Mentor Pro. You can do any of these yourself, okay? And that's what's so cool about this. There is a golden opportunity, I believe, potentially with these GPTs, if you get into it and you're able to actually make these from scratch and kind of, do it in your living room. It's not complicated. It really is pretty easy. And I think they're going to have additional functionality and features that come along in the future here. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. God bless. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great weekend. Take care.